Yeah, Watch Dogs Legion is horribly optimized. Now, this is the second video I'm making on this topic. The first one was kind of how Watch Dogs Legion just is broken because it was crashing all over the place. But this one is interesting because I'm going to compare it to a few other things. Now, when I say Watch Dogs Legion is badly optimized or horribly optimized, I don't actually like it when people use that phrase like it's horribly optimized, because most of the times when people say that this is not properly optimized, they are kind of overstating things and they are kind of not using it in the proper case. But here I can actually say that, and I am justified in saying that, and I'll get to the part why I am justified in saying that during this video. Because I will show you specific examples, I'll show you proper examples, proper comparisons, and I'll tell you exactly why I am saying that this is an extremely poor port and this is extremely bad optimization from Ubisoft. Now, before I go any further, I need to tell you why is it that I'm making this video. I already made one. I had no intentions of covering this topic because it honestly does not make me feel good. But I am still going to cover this topic. The reason why I'm doing it is because I saw a tweet from Ubisoft support which really pissed me off. So now Ubisoft support essentially said, are you facing problems with your performance on PC? Just click this link and just see what you can do about it. So apparently their solution for this is for you to turn down your graphical settings, is for you to check if your drivers are updated, is for you to check if the files are verified, and it is for you to check if your system actually meets the requirements. So yeah, that's pretty much the typical thing that they do. Like, I have spoken to Ubisoft support in the past. They essentially, if you have a laptop GPU, they'll just immediately say, yeah, you have a laptop GPU, we can't do anything about that because it's not covered in our minimum requirements. So yeah, bye bye. And that honestly pisses me off. And more importantly, as I'll get to it later in the video, guess what? Even if you update your drivers, even if you lower the settings, even if you do everything else that is written on that dumbass article, nothing changes. Absolutely nothing changes. And I'll get to that. So before I go any further, as I've said before, I do not like it when people just throw out like, yeah, this game is horribly optimized. Because most of the times, it's not the case. It is some or the other things that are happening on the hardware level or maybe on the software level that is causing it. But I have some definitive things to say about this game. Now, to actually show you what proper optimization looks like, I'm going to open up a game that is known for really good performance scaling, that is Control. Now, Control works very well on pretty much every PC. If you have any sort of a graphics card, any sort of PC, if you have the performance to give it, it will use every last bit of it. And you can see that on the screen right now. You can see that my GPU is being used 99%. Well, guess what? That was actually 100%. That dropped down to 99 when I actually started recording, because when you record, the 1% is being used by the recording software, the NVIDIA GeForce Experience or whatever, NVIDIA Share. That is actually using 1% of my GPU. The rest 99 is completely being used by the game to push as many frames as it possibly can. And you know what? You're not satisfied? Want to see more? What happens when I actually lower the resolution? Because in Watch Dogs Legion, it does jack shit. It does nothing. Because the GPU usage actually goes down with the resolution. Now in this game, when I drop down the resolution to 1366 into 768, guess what happens? Take a educated guess as to what happens. If you guess that my GPU usage remains at 100% and that my frames per second actually goes up, then points to you. You have the least amount of common sense that Ubisoft doesn't seem to have. So yes, it goes up. It is now playing at like 57, 58, which is still not a lot of 60 FPS, but I am running this on a 1050 Ti and I honestly do not expect a performance like that. If I see a game that is utilizing my GPU to its full potential or utilizing my CPU to its full potential, I have nothing to complain about because it is trying its best. Maybe it could have done things better, maybe it could have done things in a different way, but at least it is using my resources. That is the first step in optimization. Using the resources that are actually available to you. which Watch Dogs Legion is not. But then you might be screaming right now, hey, you are talking about a linear game. Control is a linear game. A linear game, developers can control many other aspects. You see what I did there? With the control, all the aspects and all? Okay. You know what? That's a dumb thing. Anyway, so you might be thinking it's a linear game, even though Control is not technically a linear game, but I can see what your point is. You know what? Fine. Let's try another open world game. And what is quite possibly one of the best open world games in this generation, which is Witcher 3. Now, the reason why I'm trying Witcher 3 and not something like Red Dead Redemption 2 or GTA 5 is because I don't have them installed, and on hand right now, I did have Witcher 3. So yeah, I open up Witcher 3, I start playing it, and guess how much of my GPU it is using? That's right, once again, it is using 100% of my GPU, like it is supposed to. It is actually using the resources that is being fed to it. Now you might be seeing on your screen it says 99%, but as I have clarified before, that's because of the recording software. It is running at 100%. If you are not recording the game, it will always use 100% of your GPU. And that is continuous usage. Like even when I'm going through the world, sometimes there are some dips, but they are the 1% lows. Other than that, it is almost always using 100% of my GPU. So what happens when I drop down the resolution in Witcher 3? The frame rates go up like they are supposed to. I know it's a very hard concept for Ubisoft to grasp, but yeah, the game actually behaves like it is supposed to. Something that Ubisoft games don't seem to understand, something that the people who are actually making ports for the Ubisoft game don't seem to understand either. Now I feel like I'm going on a long rant because I am honestly extremely pissed off, because after seeing these things, I have never actually done proper benchmarking for Control or for Witcher 3, but after seeing this, it even pissed me off even further than I already was. Now you might be thinking, you know what, that's CD Projekt Red, but these are other companies, why don't I compare things to Ubisoft? Okay, fine, I'll compare another Ubisoft game then. I have Assassin's Creed Odyssey installed, and that's exactly what I did. So now Odyssey is running in the background currently right now for you guys, and you might be able to see that this time at least my GPU is sometimes being utilized to its full potential. Sometimes it's going to 99-98%, but then it is dropping down to 85-84%, sometimes even to 78-77%. Now if you see that, it's quite clear, and you will make that assumption that yeah, this is also not a very optimized game. It's better than Watch Dogs Legion, but it is still not that good of an optimization. But this time, I would actually disagree with you, because I feel Odyssey is actually very nicely optimized for GPUs. For CPUs, that's a different case altogether. But for as far as my GPU is concerned, Odyssey is actually very nicely optimized. Because you know what? When that GPU usage is actually going down, when it is going down to like 85 or 70, my CPU usage is actually at 99%. That is basically saying that my CPU is not able to send the frame in time for my GPU to render, and that is why my GPU is sitting there waiting, chilling out for the CPU to actually send the frame. That I can understand. Now then, the next question that comes to your mind, comes to anyone's mind, is why can't we just say that the same thing is happening for Watch Dogs Legion? Because it is not. That is not what is happening with Watch Dogs Legion. Go back to the Watch Dogs Legion footage. You know what? I'm going to play it again. Look at the footage, and whenever you see that my GPU usage is dropping down to around 70s, my CPU usage is still at 70s. My CPU usage is not actually going to those 80s and 90s. So the drop in GPU usage doesn't make any sense, because my CPU usage is not going up by any number. So it makes no sense that the GPU usage would actually come down, because the CPU usage is not going up. And that is how bad the optimization is for this game. They rushed out this game, which I think they did because they wanted to release Watch Dogs Legion in this year, and they wanted to release Assassin's Creed Valhalla also this year because they were incurring significant losses. And so I think they just rushed this game out, and they just thought like, you know what, we'll fix this later on. Well, that is not good enough. That is not good enough for the people who are actually paying you $60 for the game. That's a rip-off of the people who are paying $60 for the game. Okay, in my case, I paid $43. But fine, $43 is not less. It is still a huge amount. It's an amount I could have spent anywhere else, but I chose to give that money to you because I actually wanted to play your product. A product that you can't even be bothered to release in a proper state. And that should not happen with any company. Anyone who does this is not acceptable behavior. I will not accept this sort of behavior. I lambasted Horizon Zero Dawn for this, and I'm not going to spare Ubisoft either. Because you know the same thing is going to happen with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Mark my words, this same problem is going to happen with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where it's not properly going to use your utilities. It's not going to use the hardware that you have. And that is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And as I've said before, this is not even considering the issues in the game currently, which is causing the game to crash every few minutes if you are in the team selection scheme. I am extremely pissed off right now. And that is the reason why I'm making this video. So yeah, if you didn't know it before, so now you know why actually Watch Dogs Legion has this performance issues and what you can do about it, which is essentially nothing. All we can do is wait for a patch and hope and pray that Ubisoft actually realizes their mistake and actually optimizes the game better and uses it to give us a patch that will actually help the game run at its full potential and run properly on computers. That's all I have to say about this. If you do end up liking my video, then definitely consider pressing that like button. Do subscribe to my channel for more content, because even though the performance is shit, I still want to put out more content in Watch Dogs Legion because I am liking the game so far. I am slightly disappointed in some regions and I will detail those in a separate video. But other than that, I am kind of liking this game so far. Now, I won't be doing a review for this game because I honestly do not think I will be able to finish this game in time to do a review. But I will be doing an impressions video where I say what I think about this game. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this. Do subscribe to my channel for more content and I'll leave you guys with it. So, peace.